Kids at Oxford were very polite, and I've said that when they were showing us around the campuses, I mean, to say that they're stunning and beautiful is an understatement of biblical and Koran proportion. I mean, they're really magnificent. Reminded me very much of Guthrie, and I know what it costs to maintain Guthrie, so I can't even imagine what it costs to maintain Oxford in its 30 or 40 different colleges. Kibble College, which is one of the most beautiful that we looked around, and the grounds and the magnificent gardens or lawns and the buildings and the dining halls, and they all have chapels at a minimum, and most of them have big churches. It's quite not overwhelming to me because I live in the same kind of environment, but I can see it's hard to believe that anybody could go there for 3 or 4 or 5 years and not come away thinking they're a fucking elitist. And i.e., they think they're fucking elitist. So it's not surprising. I have never seen Cambridge campus, but I can just imagine that it must look similar. Although the Oxford guys, because they've been around 100 years longer, approximately, they've got their nose in the air more apparently than the Oxford guys. But it was a nice experience, although we had some difficulties finally getting it set up because apparently there were some people that didn't, as they would say in Scotland, want me to speak at Oxford. And if it wasn't for the sternness of a couple of QLA devotees, not the least of which is Henry Lee, who is a mentee who came to the seminar a year ago as a second-year Oxford man, it probably wouldn't have gotten done. Now, I told my Scottish jokes didn't work in Oxford. They didn't like my Scottish accent, so none of those worked. And when I said that I thought that when Craig, who's our estate manager, said Oxford was calling, and when I said, well, 45 years late, they must be for the Rhodes Scholarship. I'm getting a Rhodes Scholarship. They didn't think that was funny either. But anyway, maybe it didn't, or it dawned on them that at the same time frame that I was there on the campuses, there was a group of young students and alumni, some alumni that were trying to get Cecil Rhodes' statue taken down. Cecil Rhodes was the founder of the Rhodes Scholarship, and he gave quite a bit of money some years ago, and he gives, I guess, £100 million, his trust, every year ongoing. And they decided that because he was part of South Africa's apartheid from many years ago, and that he, I believe, discovered dynamite, which is used in warfare, that they don't want his statue anymore. Ironically, of course, they still want his money, they just don't want his statue. So me making a joke about my Rhodes Scholarship only 45 years late didn't cause any laughter whatsoever. I also didn't get much commentary about one of my success stories from QLA is a young man who came to the Castle Seminar in the late 90s, who went off and he made a few $100 million, much to his credit. They weren't too interested in him either. So they seemed a good way for me to describe it. They seem more or less self-centered, which, notwithstanding they want to save the fucking world, they sounded pretty self-centered. So we'll see how the talk registers on YouTube. As of this morning, in the first 24 hours, I think we got about 3,000 people that looked at it. which is pretty good. It's not as good as the London Reel 6-minute tape that went viral. But my London Reel tapes, or the snippets or the teasers of the tapes, which there's 3 of them, have now registered about 500,000 views. And coincidentally, a couple of days ago, somebody took one of my talks from about a year ago. It happened to be the one when I was ranting and raving about why you're so fucking poor. Not the current one that I'm ranting about why you're so fucking poor. And it got almost 500,000 views on one of the young millennial hip-hop type, in fact, I think it may be called hip-hop type programs. And it got about 500,000 one day, and it got 100,000 a couple other days, which, you know, spiked the heck out of my traffic on my website. So I don't know if any of that will resonate in the QLA, for them to use QLA. Now, surprisingly, as I did a lot of homework before I spoke at Oxford, and you know, they've got 26 or 27 prime ministers. They've got 26 Nobel laureates. They were founded in roughly circa 1096. But they didn't do much, or many of them didn't do much homework about me, because they were more or less stunned to realize that I give all the fucking product away free. And in fact, that led me to believe that it's not as obvious as I thought it was. So now we have it in big 50 pica font on the site, QLA product free here. I would have thought, you know, ergo, there's the product and there's no prices on it. There's the product and there's no basket to put the product in to pay for it. There's no credit card, asking for credit card details, that it would become obvious to the casual observer that all the shit's fucking free. But and my wife just gave a whine here to my right. But apparently, I don't know, maybe they thought I forgot to put the prices, and that they're just getting it all free and they're slipping it by us. I don't know. But anyway, they were surprised that it was free. And I have no intention of changing that. And I feel confident that was probably one of the smartest things that I've done in recent years, is to give it away free. Because that takes away the excuses. You can't have an excuse why, oh Jesus Christ, Dan's stuff is so expensive. Because it went from the most expensive product online to free. Now, speaking of that, I don't sell the book anymore, and that's the second edition that came out in 2009. And part of the reason I don't sell the book anymore is that the examples aren't current, although they're still accurate. They're not current. But another additional reason is that initially I was told some months ago that people were selling my book or reselling my book online on Amazon. So I looked at it, and it was there. At first, it was there for $900, and then it was there for $2,000, and then it was there for $5,000 a copy. And now, as I speak, it's on Amazon for $9,950 a copy. Now, I don't know who has copies to sell for $9,950. But I say sarcastically, yeah, Sally said it was her copy. I could find a few copies for 10 grand a copy. Yeah, but it's quite amazing and that's not one in rare condition, or how when you buy used books. That's just in good condition. So, I stopped selling them, although I'm told you can still get copies. But that's why they're not sold anymore. And in fact, we used to give them at the seminar, but we don't give them anymore because the students focus on like it's a Bible. I say it's like the Bible. I'm telling you what the Lord knows, and they focus on the examples, and the examples were written 10, 12 years ago, and they're not current. The methodology is still current, but the kids that read the book get too lockstep on the actual examples that are given in the book. So, and I have no intention of writing another book and updating that. But what I am exploring, and which I've already started, is a new short little 1 or 2 minute podcast that we put out a few times a week, where I dispel all the bullshit that you hear in the personal development and the success business. Those have become very popular, and people like them because they're so short. And what we're looking at now, in addition, is the possibility of me doing a 1 or 2 or 3 times a week radio program, live streaming on the internet, but without visual, just verbal. So I can do them from the car here. I can do them from a hotel, and where we would take questions, hopefully live. And we're still working on the techniques, but our initial research shows that Facebook, YouTube, amongst several other mediums, have the capability of me being able to do that on a live stream basis. So we're working out the details now, and hopefully before the summer's over, we will have our at least a test. And if there's no interest, then I'll find out soon enough. But I believe there will be an interest. The challenge will be what time of the day. Convenient for me is like from 1 to 3 in the afternoon, which means 5 hours before that is New York time, 8 hours before that is Los Angeles time, and 12 hours before that is 7-8 hours before that is Central Asia. So I mean, we'll see what a convenient time it would be, but I believe we can get interest, and it would be the raw and unfiltered Ask the $50 Billion Man. And so the format would be without a producer, no filtering the calls, and when the calls come in, if I don't like it, I say, fuck you, you cunt, and hang up on you. So we'll see. We'll see if there's interest in the QLA devotee universe that want the raw and unfiltered. That's all for this edition of Reflections and Confessions of the $50 Billion Man. Peace. We'll see you soon.